Okay, here I come. Hopefully you are able to see me. Honestly, what a day. Been a bit of a nightmare, if I'm honest. So, yeah, I will just turn that one on. So, I think I have. I don't know if this is working. Might have to. I seem to be here. Okay, right. That's not what I was going for. But I'm live on YouTube as well. I think I'm not. I'm going to have to stop this. Sorry, this has been a bit of a disaster day. I'll. Okay, I think I'm here. Let's just see. Sorry about this. It's been a little bit of a. Okay, am I? Yeah, I seem to be here. Right, it looks like what's happening is I'm just having to go live straight to YouTube. I'll explain what's going on. Basically, this morning when I got in, I'd left a Windows update going on the main machine, which is what runs the show. When I came in this morning, the machine was still on. I couldn't get the screens to come on. So the only thing I'd assumed, it'd been doing 10, 12 hours at least overnight. So I basically hard reset the machine, and it wouldn't boot up again. And it's like, yikes! And it required a live full in reinstall of Windows, which was not what I wanted to do. But I did find an old. Sadly, I hadn't backed things up for a while. So I basically, sorry, I'm just making sure this is all working because this is all a bit last minute. So yes, essentially what I had to do was restore from a previous OS, update everything, make sure things are working. And at about 1:30, I thought, damn, all my shortcuts to run the show, which is all the kind of the switch and all that, they'd all gone. But then I managed to find a place where I got them back again, and so therefore we're on. But it's not quite as I'd hoped. It's all a bit kind of. So today, it looks like we're streaming directly live to YouTube, which was not what I'd hoped for. So I'll just have to figure out how to deal with all of that later. But if you're watching this, then you're probably going to be seeing what's going on. So I'll have to upload this. There won't be any chat replay on the published version, but you'll be able to figure it out. So I do beg your pardon for this. It was either that or cancel, and I figured hopefully we've definitely got. Well, Tori Letzler says she was going to join us today, which is great. We haven't had her on for ages. Maybe Yoad, maybe maybe Charles Chicky Reeves. I don't know yet. I mean, it's all been because I was on and then I was off. Uh, right. Okay. Charles is going to join us. That's very good of him. I don't know about Yoad. He may well have made other plans, which is entirely reasonable. So we got a couple of guests. That's good. So what I need to do is just get all my stuff set up. So it looks like we're doing a live stream direct to YouTube. I think I've got my auto exposure on this camera and it's set. No, that's all right. I think it's okay. Yeah, I beat Windows, but I've had to turn off updates because what happened when I restored the system disk, I thought, okay, brilliant, I'll just run the Windows updates again because I figured probably the drive had gone a bit wonky. But actually, it did exactly the same thing again, and then I had to go through the whole process all over again. Fortunately, I didn't have to do too much, but it did mean a project I was working on yesterday was complete, even though I rendered out a published version for approval, and my edit is gone, which is because the reason I rebooted the machine is that, I'll just export that project to the backup drive before I go home, and it said, sorry, I need to update your computer, so I didn't get to do that. Damn, my own fault, really. There are no excuses. I'm just explaining what happened and why I might have been a bit flustered, which was kind of a bit aggravating. So I do beg your pardon. And you should be seeing us via Twitch and YouTube live at the moment. That's just the way it goes. I'll turn Facebook on in a bit, but so yeah, it's not my ideal setup. It means I'm going to have to edit the video again. But hey. But yeah, I mean, I was quite calm. I just thought, well, I'll just have to cancel the show or I won't. And I didn't. I just thought, oh, actually, it's going to work. Because what actually happened, what I did is I opened vMix, which is our switching system. I went to the shortcuts and it just said there are no shortcuts. And I use a lot of shortcuts with all my with my MIDI hardware, which is what this is, levels and, cues and playing in videos, all that kind of stuff. And it was all gone. And I just thought, yikes. But for those of you that are interested, or perhaps you're not, the reason they'd gone was because I also use a Stream Deck, Elgato Stream Deck, and because it wasn't installed, the XML that gets opened that shows all the shortcuts was missing a load of stuff, and it stopped the latest shortcuts opening, so I had to go back a few episodes. This is maybe very little interest to you, but I'm just explaining. Hi everybody on Twitch, and hi everybody on YouTube. You're going to get the full show today. Hi folks, just doing that. So let's see, we've got some people in the chat room. YouTube on. So yeah, anyway, phew. That's usually I'm very well prepared. Well, it may not seem that way, but I'm better prepared than this. So I'm hoping it's all going to be okay, because obviously that was a bit of a worry. But streaming tech, the thing about when you do these shows, the more you do them, the more you have faith in the way it's going to work, and then you just kind of keep going, and and then when it all breaks and you think, oh, I've got to rebuild it suddenly, then that's when it starts to freak you out a bit. But I think, fingers crossed, this should all be working. At least the Twitch is working. At least you can listen to me talk and moan about my technical issues at the very least. But I think we're going to have some guests too, or at least that's my hope. I'm pretty sure we will. So let's just get that one out. But yeah, it's all a bit. YouTube is not. The YouTube chat doesn't seem to be showing. That's probably not so good. Right, how is that going to work? So I might have to figure out how to deal with that. So that is definitely working. So I just need, I need to share that. I think I've got the wrong URL, which is probably because I had to redo it, which is a bit embarrassing because now all of the people okay, whatever. Yeah, it is. Episode 632. So I can bring the YouTube chatters in there. Is it Windows Server? No, it's not Windows Server. Let's have a look. YouTube. That is not so good. Okay, so I need to change that. Right, okay. So I'm going to have to deal with that. Hey! Yo,
Hey, Nick.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's been better, but I'm just sorting out the final bits and pieces. I'm hearing you come in via some speakers.
Yeah, is that a problem?
It should work, but I don't. Yeah,
I'll try to put my.
It's better now. I'm just going to sort out the YouTube link because that's not working. Just 1 second.
Okay. But
There we go. Sorry about that. I've just still got a couple of things to do. It's all very last minute, this. Right. So I probably want to go here. Okay. So we've got Yoad. Excellent. And we should have Tori. It's very early where she is, so she might be a bit last minute, but that's okay. And we might well have Mr. Charles Chicky Reeves as well. Who knows? It's one of those anything could happen days. Right, so we've got our YouTube chat. Excellent, nice to see you all there, YouTube chatters. And it seems to be very dark. Why is that? Let's see if I can fix that. Is that better? It's a bit lighter, I think. Okay. So we got Yoad in the house, and we're just waiting for our other guests. I can't believe the show got pulled together at the last minute. It was very sketchy. Lovely to see you, Yoad. I'm sorry this has all been a bit last minute.
Oi. Okay, I'm hearing you now.
Hey, okay. You can hear me.
How is the sound?
Sounds
Is
all right,
that
yeah.
mic good enough?
Yeah, it's fine. Because you're in a
That's
treat. Yeah, you're in a treated room.
GoPro mic.
Yeah,
If
it's
it's
fine.
fine, then it's fine.
It's
Okay.
fine.
And can you live with this? Say something.
Hello, 1 2. 1 2.
Hey.
Hello, hello, 1 2. Yeah,
That's
I
on the
think so.
speakers.
That
Is
seems
that,
okay.
Is that cool?
That
Okay,
seems
cool.
okay.
Okay, great.
Okay, yeah, nice to see you, Yoad. I had a Windows update disaster,
Oh
basically.
no.
Yeah, left the machine running overnight, and it decided to basically
Oh, it
freeze
did
freeze my
it
machine.
did an update on its own, like an auto update.
Well, it does. I mean, Windows 10 is usually generally fine, and it just said because what happened was I'd been working on this edit all day, and I just shut the machine down. I thought, oh, actually, what I'll do is I'll just export that project just so that I got a backup of it. And when I rebooted, it said, no, I've got to do a Windows update. So so basically, it broke my machine and lost my project, which was
Lost your project.
yeah, it's complicated because I've been using a new NLE which stores all the files in a database. So the database was on the
So it broke the link.
on the Windows drive, and so it's gone. I mean, I rendered it out at full quality, so hopefully I'll be able to edit it from if there are any changes required. But God, what a nightmare!
That's not
Yeah.
nice.
No, it is about as nasty as it's possible to be, actually. Because although I must admit I remained very calm, I don't think I swore at all. I just thought, well, but what happened was I found. Well, I'll save it for later because it might interest or amuse some of these people, some of our viewers who will be perfectly entitled to say, I hope you had everything backed up, and it's like, well, yes and no, as is often the case. Because I've been working with a new NLE, which I've been working with DaVinci Resolve rather than Vegas, just to sort of because it's got a way better audio handling. And I was just about to back up the project to disk with all the work files. All the footage and everything I recorded were on a work drive, but not the document.
Not the edit, yeah. Well, next time.
Yes, you're absolutely right there. Says the man who knows that would never happen to him because it's always backing up, right?
Well, never say never, but I have it in 5 places all the time.
Yeah, okay. I stand chastised, and rightly so. It's just a bloody nightmare, unfortunately. But anyway, maybe it'll be all right. So I think, I'm guessing, I'm hoping we will have Charles and we'll have Tori, who we haven't had for ages. But it's nice to see you. I know we we passed in the night a little bit. I think there was an oversubscription, and I had to be brutal. And I'm sorry if it was if you
That's
were all
fine.
prepared for it. It's happened so rarely that we're
No,
oversubscribed.
I usually read your, take a look at your links like 5 minutes before the show. So usually it's fine.
Ah, well, that's good. So it hadn't been near that's okay
Yeah.
then. There was an extra thing, which was the I will send you a link to now, just so that you've got it. It's not, let me see. It's the Make Noise Desmodus reverb, which I will send because Tori's involved in that, or has just got it and is really raving about it. Extra link. I better send that to Chicks as well. Unless I already did. I can't remember if I did. Still says set reminder here. Oh, well, YouTube will be on. I don't know really what's happening. It's just decided to, yeah. We got people. So I do apologize if you're all confused. Because one of the things that seemed to break is my live stream setup, which means that we're now live streaming straight to YouTube as from the start, rather than my usual sort of top and tail show business. But at least we're going to get a show, better than no show. I warrant. And as ever, want to say thanks to everybody in the YouTube chat. I enabled super stickers and super chat. If you feel like you want to, do any of that stuff, that's all welcome. Maybe I'll be able to afford a beer later on, because I tell you what, I'm going to need some strong liquor after today's over. I've been, and I've got to go to. Is that you? Is that you, Yoad? Music?
Yeah, sorry, I'm
Oh, that's
looking
cool.
at
No,
this
it's
thing.
no problem. Absolutely no problem. I just wanted to check. I wasn't sure. I wasn't missing someone else coming in.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
Well, my record was to change a PC motherboard to start replacing a PC motherboard 45 minutes before a session.
I think you've
That
told
was a
that
long
story.
time
Yeah,
ago.
that you told that story. That requires
Yeah, and I've just
cojones.
about made it,
Wow, and it worked.
and it worked. Well, I used to do it so much back in the day, like reconfigure the PC, change motherboard, change CPUs, doing all that stuff. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah, let me see.
Now I just want things to work and to be stable.
Yeah, me too. That's what I want. I mean, and to be fair, this system has been rock solid. I don't think this has ever happened before. So, I'm not, I feel, what, we've had it since 2018. So, I think that's pretty good for the mission critical kind of nature of it. I'm pretty, I'm just going to paste the YouTube stream. This is the actual YouTube stream here. So I need to change that, info. I think Tori will probably be last minute, because that's her thing, because it's early over there in LA. So just keep an eye that she's not trying to contact me. It may be that she is. Can I actually see her anywhere? And I might have to go onto Facebook, because some people prefer to message that way. Nope. Nope. Okay, that's all right. We're all good, unless there's a GMT mismatch. And I suspect that Chicky is probably trying to hook up his new Blackmagic switcher with very short notice. So it's going to be one of those tech days. How have you been anyway, Yoad? Have you been well? Been busy?
Yeah, been very busy. Yeah, a lot of stuff happening at Waves. We're working on a lot of stuff, and as this whole neural networks, AI, machine learning, it's all really getting into our lives, and it's very exciting. It's like a new sort of dimension of processing, which is I try to think what the equivalent could be. It's like having you know, a guitar with just a combo amp, and then adding guitar pedals or something. It just opens up so many possibilities in different kind of and different way of thinking and stuff. It's very exciting. The whole
Interesting.
thing about processing audio and you know, it's not just linear, but you can really analyze the audio and manipulate it in ways that are just not, you know, that are just new, and that's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. Right. Have you see pop out chat? I think I've basically got the wrong YouTube chat now as well. Let me just check. Yes, I do. So hold on 1 second. I now need to close that chat. Sorry, this is becoming extremely confusing for everybody. Pop out chat. There we go. I think that's better. Ah, there we go. I'm back in the room. So I think, yes. Right. So we're just waiting for, gosh, our other two guests who are cutting it right to the wire, which I was, to be fair. I mean, I can't really complain because I didn't decide to do the show until about 2:30. So, yeah, that's kind of, yeah. What can you say? Let me see. Right. So the bit rate is low. That doesn't seem right. I don't think that's true. I think that's not true. Stream health.
You didn't say anything about my new camera and angle.
No, I haven't yet. Sorry, I'm still. I'm. You've gone GoPro. That's very wide, so we can see a lot of you. What have you got? Is it a Hero Black or what's the camera
Yeah,
you've got?
Black 7 or Hero 7.
Well, have you switched off stabilization because that
reduces
the latency enormously? Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. The colours are good, very vibrant, and we can see almost everything. So you're facing your desk at the moment. So you look like it looks like that Captain Beefheart image of Clearspot, you know, where he's just surrounded by this really wraparound studio because of the. Is that have you got it in extra wide or is that in the?
Yeah, that's extra wide.
Got you.
And I have that other camera there, and I'm kind of running out of excuses why not to make videos.
Ah, okay. Well, I can help you there.
That's where I am right now.
You just got it because you like to, I don't know, just for us. But yeah. So have you still got the DSLR to your left?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So how's this coming in? Have you got a capture device? Is that?
So I have a capture device on this machine, and I have a capture device on this laptop, which is like a dedicated, you know.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're heading towards going the Blackmagic route because that's what will solve your problems. Then you just have one and just plug all the computers into them. Oh, excuse me, I just had to unplug a sec. I missed that. Yeah. Chicky just bought I think he just got the Blackmagic 8M ISO, which is really cool. So you can record all of the streams at the same time and have it turned into an actual edit document ready straight on the disk. You just load it straight up and off you go. It's absolute genius.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to take a look into that.
Yeah. I've been singing their praises. Am I early again? Let's have a look. No, you're not early. Let's have a look. Hold on, I need to, let's see. 572. So 6, let me just check. I think for some reason, I need to, Tori's trying to get in. let me see what the link is. $660. No, that should be her. She should be coming in. Okay. Tori's having connection issues. She was here, but she said there was nobody there, which is obviously not ideal. Let's just see if I can get her to... I need to test that link. Oh, it's going to be one of those jolly days. Oh, no, that's working for me. Yep, I just... Right, sorry about this. This is probably less than scintillating viewing for all of you people out there. We're just waiting for Tori to get hooked up. It looks like she's having trouble with her hookups, but I managed to connect. That's me just connecting there as Tori. You could tell I've let myself go a little bit. So we're just waiting for that. Sorry for the delay, everybody. Right, trying to do some tech support. Let me see. She's just messaging me back, so we should have. Maybe there's been another operating system update that means that it's not working anymore. Maybe there's been an iOS update. Right, how are we going to do this? Oh, man, I'm starting to get the sweat on now. I do beg your pardon, all you, all our chatties and friends out in the chat rooms. It's nice to... Oops, that's not what we want, is it? That's let me just get my chat sorted out. That is not what I am. Oh, boy. And I thought it was all working. I mean, it just worked for me. That's the thing that's a bit confusing. So, that's what I need to do. If I just do that. There we go. I can fix it. Let's do that one. And yeah, okay, it's going to be one of those disaster days, is it? Sometimes they happen, don't they? But hopefully. Here we go. I've got the chat anyway. Hooray, got the chat. Brilliant, that's something. Just no sign of Tori. Ah, got Charles.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing, Chicky?
I'm doing a bit rushed, but okay.
Yeah, well, I think Tori's having trouble hooking up. So we might have to go...
I'm just trying to, let's see. Sorry, I'm just, there we go. It's one of those days.
Yes, it certainly is. Right. Oh, phew. I'm getting hot now. I thought I had it all under control, but now Tori can't dial in, even though I've just tested the link myself. Maybe there's been an iOS update that means it doesn't work. So I've got the 4 up. There we go. That's a sort of weird 4 up.
I may have to reset. I may have to, hold on a second.
Okay, that's no problem. Well, apologies, everybody. This has been one of those bizarre days when... What happened? We've had some rough tech days. The first issue for me was Windows 10 update that basically just balked my machine completely. And this is the main machine over here that handles the whole system, the switch and everything. And I thought I couldn't get it together. And then suddenly I managed to get the machine back up to a working state, roughly. And so I didn't let anybody know until 2:30, which is a bit late. So appreciate the guests making it. But Tori's having trouble hooking up. I don't know why. It's worked before for her. I just tested the link. It worked for me. So I don't really know
For some
what.
reason, it's only letting one of my cameras work. I don't know why.
Okay.
Oh, well.
It looks fine.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I won't worry about it then.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go.
What a day.
Yes, right. Okay. I think we're just going to do the show. Sorry, I beg your pardon, everybody. This has been a bit of a disjointed pre-show. But hey, you said you wanted the pre-show, and sometimes that's what this is like. It's not always fun and games. Sometimes it's tech madness. So I think what we'll do is we'll run the show. I think that's the way to go for it. So stand by, everybody. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sonic Talk, episode 632, recording just about today, Wednesday, the 26th of August, 2020. This is the podcast to do with music technology and all the things surrounding. I'm not quite sure what that sound is, but that's quite an interesting sound. It's tricky. Sorry. So welcome everybody. Yes, as I was saying. So I want to say thank you very much for sticking in. There's a bit of a story about this one because we thought that it wasn't actually going to happen because it's been so. There's been so much difficulty with technology, and I will go into this later. I'm just going to mute Charles because I think he's setting up his. I think what's happened now is all my automation's broken. Excellent. Never mind. We'll get onto it. Right. First things first, though, because basically, it has. That's really quite frustrating. So now I can't switch any. I can't switch anything. Right. I could do that. I'll do it that way. So first of all, I want to say, apologies to Gwem. I did a video. We talked about the update for the TR707. And I played a short video of Gwem's. From Gwem's channel, who's called Pre-Roman Britain. I'm just going to say, and I didn't
Hi there, my name's
credit
Gareth,
him. So
my artist name is Gwem, and to be honest, most of my friends call me that as well. So this is my YouTube channel, and it'd be awesome if you could check out some of the stuff. So I cover a few topics, and they're all kind of around music and like low-tech music and retro stuff. So most of the videos are about my Atari ST chiptune tracker called Maximizer. So I've got a whole bunch of tutorials and how-tos on that. I've also got some mixes of old school rave and old techno stuff, stuff that I personally like to listen to. And there are also some techno jams where I don't use a computer. I just hook up some gear and make a jam that lasts a couple of minutes.
right, I just wanted to play that because, oh man, I'm going to have to do this all manually, aren't I? Right, okay, because basically I didn't credit him last week, and it did annoy several of his viewers, quite rightly so, because we did the Zoom room last week, which was a bit of a technical kind of distraction. So what I just wanted to apologise to Gwem and say, if you want to check his stuff out, because he's done some really cool. There's a jam that he did a couple of weeks ago, which was basically 2 Ataris and a DJ mixer, and it was just, it's really, I mean, it's very chiptune, but it was almost 40 minutes, and it was like crossfading between them, and the way that he operates astonishing. So do check his stuff out. And once again, sorry, Gwem, I do apologize to you all. So let's see if we can actually run a show, because I'm going to have to switch this all manually because all my my MIDI switching has decided to break. So let's say hello to Mr. Yoad Nevo. Who's there? I'll have to turn his channel up manually as well. Wow. How are you, Yoad? Yoad, of course, in his mix facility there with a new wide-angle camera. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Good to be here as always. And sorry to hear about your PC catastrophe.
Yeah,
It
well,
seems to be.
it's
You know, you
seems
could
to-
have got away with it and just not mention it, and no one would know. But
except now
I
it's
appreciate your honesty.
now it's not working. That's the problem, because now I have to switch this with the mouse, which might present some interesting challenges later on, because normally I use my trusty MIDI controller, but for some reason it's just stopped working, and I don't know why. So I'm going to have to switch it with a mouse, which will be interesting. But lovely to have you, Yoad. It's very much appreciated you coming at the last minute. Yoad, of course, mix engineer, producer, Waves developer, and yeah, he's at his studio facility in London, Nevo Sound. We also have Mr. Charles Chicky Reeves, chickyandcoco.com. Charles is there in his studio in London as well, where everybody's working remotely. How are you, Charles? Are you well? Let me make sure I turn your volume up, because it's, yeah, there we go. I've turned it up now. We
There
can
we
hear
go.
you. Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah, great. Things are good. Things are very good. So you're very busy. Well, I've been course, so you know a lot of what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been steady doing a couple of remixes, mixing a couple, trying to set up for the live show that we're gonna start doing. Which the first one is a month from today. So
Wow.
there you
Okay.
go. Yeah,
So you're getting
it's gonna be
getting
fun.
into all the delights of video switching and all of that stuff along with it. So this is all coming your way. I should explain a little bit
It
about
is.
what's been happening. Okay, so this morning, well, last night actually, I just finished editing a video using a new NLE, which is DaVinci Resolve, which is actually pretty cool, but it stores all of its project files in a database rather than sort of actual files on disk. And I was just about to leave it. I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll just reboot and I'll export that project I've been working on to a backup document before I go. And Windows booted up and said, sorry, I just need to update your Windows. And then it said, oh, it's going to take ages. Oh, well, I'm not going to get a chance. I'll leave it going overnight. Came in this morning, screens were black, machine was on, hit the space bar, nothing came up, nothing. And it's like, right, okay, what do? I left it for another 20 minutes. I thought, 12 hours has got to be enough, right? Hard reset, machine came up, blue screen, with the little what do they call them? The little barcode thing.
The icon?
Saying, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, there's a problem. Okay, several reboots. Okay, rewind to the last update. No, sorry, it's broken. Oh, that's a drag, because and I thought I'd had a system restore point, but it obviously balked that as well, so I couldn't do a system restore. So then I had to find an old image that I had of the machine from 2018, late 2018. So I installed that again. I brought, I then, updated a couple of bits of software. I thought, right, I'll just run the update again, because maybe my disk is broken or something, and it's just reformatted, so it should be all right. Went through the whole thing again, and it just started that whole thing. So now what I'm doing is I'm running the show on a 2018 Windows 10 OS, with updating the vMix switch. But when I got to the point of bringing back the Sonic Talk, all of my shortcuts had gone. It just didn't show any of them, and I was like, ouch. And they all came back, but now my MIDI device is working, so they may as well have gone, because I can't use any of them. And I lost the project that I was about to back up to disk, not all the footage and everything, and I did do a full render at full quality before I'd rendered it, but that actual edit document, it's gone. And that's history. So I am feeling a little bit sheepish. So all of you people there in the YouTube chat room, I'll try. I don't know if I can actually switch to you, because can I? Yes, I can. The chat room and the YouTube chat room, appreciate you. Does it work? Do I cut it?
Did someone just call me Charles Greaves?
So Charles Greaves, no, he's not. Well,
No, Charles Glitchy Reeves.
I don't know if they did or not. I can't follow it because I'm having to do everything manually now with a mouse via another computer. So it's a little bit complicated. Oh, that's not me. That's Tori's slot. We were going to have Tori Lesler, and she can't connect either. So it's just a really rubbish tech day, I'm afraid. So I will try and limp on. I mean, but just so you know, the show could go blue screen at any point, and I just want to let you know that up front. But I appreciate all you folks coming in. I know there's been some messing up with the YouTube URLs and everything, but it's been a hell of a day. I don't really know what else to say. I thought, well, I could blow it, or I could just blow it off, or I could just keep it going. Anyway, let's get on to a topic. So this is the new Mod Duo X. This is a demo by Redmead's Recording. So this is basically a dual DSP, it's an ARM 64-bit chip in there, and it's kind of, this is really interesting. It seems that there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on, isn't there? There's DSP platforms everywhere. This has got inbuilt synth stuff, it's got lots of rhythms, it's got, so if I can find the video, let's turn it down a bit, it's got lag. So this demo is just the sort of interesting highlights intro. So yeah, this is the new, let's see if I can find, Mod Duo X, which if I can switch, can I switch to that screen? Gosh, this is hard. I need to shut down a load of windows so I can find the buttons I need, because I can't switch.
It's one of those days.
Yeah, it is one of these days. There, where is it? There it is. Cut. There we go. So the Mod Duo X. This is quite an interesting concept. I mean, we've seen this before, because we've got not only we've got this, but we've also got the. I'm trying to remember. I'm flustered. No, that's not the right switch either. Let's shut that one. We've also got the other platforms, which I'm trying to remember what they are now. That it seems like modular development. This is a desktop system, but it's got CV control. It feels like there's a lot of modular people are now getting into this kind of notion of a DSP platform and creating something that, so one-off hardware, and then put all their development into not the hardware cycle, but all the algorithm cycle. And it's a really interesting move. And I think this seems to be happening more and more. I'm going to come to you, Yad, because you're a software developer, so you know that you probably recognise this. You probably saw this years ago, which is why you're involved in software rather than hardware, possibly.
True. And I want to say something which will be very unpopular, I think, with a lot of viewers. But my question is, what's wrong with a laptop? Like, a laptop is also a DSP unit. It can process audio, it can process MIDI, it can do emails, it can do browsing, it can do all those things, and it can do everything that all these hardware units can do, and much, much more. So what I don't quite understand, is it a 6 millisecond latency that's the problem? Is it the problem of having seen with a screen on stage? Because I don't quite get it. I mean, this unit sounds nice, it has some nice features, it's very powerful, it has very nice processing power, and all that, but you have to have a computer in order to edit it. It has like USB and network connectors, so why not just get a sound card with Max for Live or Reactor or something like that, and it will do all those things, and so many more. So there's something here I don't quite get.
Right, okay. That's an interesting... I mean, I think that's a fair point. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to say. I suppose the thing is, because then maybe you're less likely to go through the sort of hell that I've been going through today, where my computer isn't actually behaving the way it should do. I know the hardware will work.
But you're trying to make it do like a million things, and to, connect cameras and feeds and online feeds and IPs and things like that. But if you're just comparing the piece of software running, within this piece of hardware, it's one thing, which is not unlike Reactor, let's say, I would say it's a much, much more simplified version of something like Reactor or some of the patches you can do in Max for Live. So with Max for Live, so you know, and on a laptop, even an old i3 or i5 or something like that you can get for £200, you can probably run 8 instances of Reactor with drum machines and all that, and all you need is something like this, like what you have,
Right.
that you buy for, I don't know, another 40 quid or something, which has more controllers than 8. It has, I believe, 17 or something
Yeah, it's
like
got
that.
a lot. Yeah, it has got a hell of a lot.
So I there's something here I'm missing, and like, you know, if you don't want to be seen on stage with a laptop, then just control it with your phone, control it with your iPad or something. But you know, this is my view.
That is a very interesting point of view, and I think it's completely. Let me just see if I can switch. Sorry, my switching is going to be off a little bit. That's a very interesting point of view. Yeah, Charles. I mean, that's an interesting point. I mean, you go for the hardware route when you're mixing. You also have, but you also have a laptop and you're running UAD stuff as well.
Yeah.
But you also have hardware. I guess the thing about this is instant. You know, the instant recallability of patching and stuff, which I'm sure you could do in a laptop as well. But I suppose some people prefer to come out of that environment.
Yeah, I think some of what the appeal of a device like this is that, like things, they like having, you know, like I carry a Chaos Pad with me, and that Chaos Pad, I could do everything that does. I could do in Ableton, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
But I just like having, you know, when I go to that, I know what it is. I know what it's going to do. I know when I touch a particular button, that's exactly what it's going to do. And I don't have to navigate via a trackpad. Even if I set up MIDI controllers, I don't have to make sure that they're still working, like you're dealing with today, for example.
Yeah.
And you know, like, what is it? Is it Tasty Chips? You know, they've got Tasty Chips, the granular synthesizer.
The GL1. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're great granular synths that are in Max for Live, that, you know, that have been developed on the Max for Live program or Pure Data program, a Pure Data format or whatever. But there's just something about having a piece of hardware that when you go to it, it's, you know, it's going to work. And also, if, like, on a laptop, as systems become upgraded, you know, sometimes things just, you know, like certain plugins that I used to love just don't work anymore, and the companies that made them just don't develop. They discontinue it. So, yeah, I mean, like, I know it sounds like I'm going way far back, but like, think about like some of the cool features of Opcode's Studio Vision Pro. You know, it had some very cool, the audio to MIDI stuff was really cool. And it's just now that Ableton is finally doing that, but that's like 20 something years later. Things like that, you know, it's like, because on a laptop, you're not, you know, with the DSP on a laptop, you're not just dealing with that particular piece of software. You're dealing with all the other software that makes it so that can run. And if anything changes, you know, like Windows 10, for example, changes.
Update. Yeah, well,
Ta-da,
that's true.
it suddenly doesn't really work, or you have to get an upgrade, or, you know, and, you know, like I've got like an organelle, Critter and Guitari organelle, and it's just basically, it's like a Arduino kind of, you know,
It's a Pi, I
computer
think, isn't
inside
it?
of
I think inside.
or
that, yeah.
yeah, Raspberry Pi, or say, you know, it's something pretty basic, and, you know, and I know that, and I realize that there is a premium for it. You know, I guess, you know, you're paying for the box and the display and everything, but it's a little bit expensive. But the thing is, when I go to that, I always know what it's going to do. It just doesn't. I'm not having to deal with, oh, is my, like, this sounds really kind of crazy. I remember I had this great program. It was a delay calc, and this is before you could get delays that would automatically sync with BPM and stuff like that. So it was this delay calc program. But I noticed that, like, it seemed like every other day when I opened it up, it would crash my computer. And it took me a long time to figure out why. and realized that it would crash your computer on odd numbered days of months that had 31 days. And then it would go for a month without, like, for no reason. It's like, that's the kind of crap that people have to deal with when it's in a computer. Granted, it's so much better than the days of analog. I remember being stuck on a holiday weekend with a MCI GH24 tape machine that had some mouse that crawled inside of it and chewed up wires, and it suddenly wasn't working, and I couldn't get a tech, and I lost a session for several days. Luckily, those kind of days I don't have to employ a full-time tech anymore. And so, but there are still problems with this. And the nice thing about these boxes is they're dedicated. They do the thing they do, and generally they don't stray from that. It's a single-purpose thing, and I like single-purpose things. That said, I also love programming in the Max environment. You can come up with some really cool stuff in Max. And I wouldn't trade any of the plugins I have in that for anything. Well, unless they were hardware versions.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I mean, I think maybe what Yoa was suggesting is you for the same price as this, you could have a dedicated sort of fixed in time hardware computer that would run it. I am putting words in your mouth. I'm assuming that's maybe what you
Yeah,
meant.
absolutely. You can get like 5 Minimax, used Minimax. They take only this amount of space. You can connect them with a KVM switch to a single monitor or an iPad to control them or something like that. And just, if it works and you're happy with it, then it will cost you the same, but it will be so much more versatile. Because each one of them can be so many things. And then if you like it, you just freeze it, don't touch it, connect it, take it offline, don't make any updates, and it will stay there forever.
Hopefully. Until something breaks. But I think the issue is then sometimes if the hardware fails, then you're in a situation where you've got to find, if you've got to reflash that, then you have to have a system backup of that particular. It all starts to get like a bit like IT rather than this box.
Yeah, but I mean this hardware, it has a computer in it. It has an OS in it. It has all the elements of software which can break as well. So it's basically a computer, but with a dedicated OS rather than using, using the hardware and the software offered by MacBook Mini or Mac Mini or whatever,
a PC
MacBook
or whatever,
Air,
okay,
or PC, or and also if you think about the environment. The environmental cost of manufacturing so many different boxes, when you actually already have a hardware that can do all this stuff, and it's just the software that you need to change in order for it to become something else. So, that's also something.
I suppose so. I think the thing about this is you could create a kind of very custom UI experience, which is it's designed by somebody else for you to learn rather than you have to do it yourself, because that's the thing that kind of sometimes you find you kind of spending so much time programming things. But I mean, but by the by, I mean, yes, I should probably just go back and just show, this Moduo X, it's available now because they did some really good Kickstarters to get them going, and now this one is actually available in the shop. It's about $750, so it's not the cheapest thing, but it's got it's just a Chrome interface, and you just web browse to it and create all your items. And you create your pedal board, your plug board, you can share it. I mean, I guess it's an ecosystem, but yes, I take your point. Right, I've just got to try and get now to my.
That said, I just see Jeremy's video, Redmeans recording. Jeremy, his video is really good.
It is really good.
Like what he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I'm going to just do try and attempt the competition now, because I feel I've got to quit while I'm ahead, because otherwise I don't know how the hell I'm going to. Right, okay, so stand by. We'll do the Stutter Edit thing now. You can win a copy of Stutter Edit.
From the mind of composer and electronic music pioneer BT, in collaboration with iZotope, Stutter Edit 2 brings movement to your mix, faster and with more versatility than ever before. Stutter Edit 2 lets you slice audio into razor-sharp rhythms and moving effects, creating exciting new rhythmic worlds within your music. Instantly recreate the famous stutter effect in your samples, sound design, and beyond. all with a single button. Control a vast array of studio quality effects, all linked to the timing of your stutter edit, making it easy to add filter sweeps, panning effects, pumping dynamics, and more. Stutter Edit 2 is the fastest and most exciting way to dynamically elevate your music productions, sound design, film scoring, and more. Head to iZotope.com to download a free 10-day trial and check out our other Creative Suite products too.
Indeed you can, and we have a copy to give away actually. So if I just go to the while I'm ahead, try and get this going. So yeah, if you want to win a copy of Stutter Edit 2 from iZotope and BT, we're looking for the hashtag. It's a Twitter competition. The hashtag Cut and Chop, no hyphens this week, which I learnt my lesson. Thank you very much, chat room, for making that clear. Cut and Chop, and the hashtag Stutter Edit 2 to @SonicState and @iZotope Inc. So the hashtag Cut and Chop as one word. The hashtag Stutter Edit 2, the number 2, to @SonicState and @iZotope Inc. And that will get you entered into the competition where you will be able to pick, assuming I can get the computer working again we'll be able to pick you for next week. So actually we got a winner for last week's competition, which I will now try and switch. I have to keep switching mice, which is quite complicated. We've got Fizulu. I think I recognise the name for the chat room, and possibly an early winner to one of our competitions. Fizulu, @Fizulu. If you want to get in touch, you won Stutter Edit 2 from last week. So once again, we thank iZotope for sponsoring the competition and providing the prize. Okay, let's see. So that was that one. Hidden features in the Microfreak. Now let's see if I can find this, get this video to play. Yes, I think I can play it. Go! This looks like a fantastic venue. So this is the news that brand new sort of limited edition, not sure how limited, white Microfreak, which we reviewed some times back. It's actually now, they've unveiled this kind of, the fact that it's got a vocoder built into it, and actually a mic input, which you can, and it comes with a gooseneck. So these are the white Microfreaks. This is a purely digital DSP synth. 16-band vocoder engine. I don't know how good the vocoder is, but seems okay. It's an interesting thing to throw in. I want to know where this house is. It looks absolutely amazing. It's like a sort of merchant's house in Venice or something. Anyway, I won't play the whole thing, as you know, is something I often say. But yeah, this is the news that the Arturia Microfreak in white has been made available. I think you can buy it. I don't know how limited. It says, oh no, I can't switch that. I'll have to go manually. I beg your pardon. €329. I don't know if that is actually any more expensive. Comes with this little gooseneck mic that kind of plugs into the headphone, which was masquerading as a headphone, but it actually got a mic input. And it's just a nice little Easter egg, and it's quite a significant Easter egg. I don't know how people feel. Has anyone tried the Microfreak? I'm going to come to you, Yad, because I'm going to put it to you that essentially the Microfreak could actually just be a laptop. We're running those running those algorithms, but you wouldn't get the full, because actually hasn't it got some mutable instrument sort of source code in there as well? I think this, so yes, entirely. Nice Easter egg though.
Yeah, I mean, I like what I hear from the oscillators and the synth engine. It sounds very cool. It sounds like a very beefy kind of digital synth. I haven't tried this keyboard, so I'm not sure what I think about it. The vocoder, it's a nice concept because it's a digital vocoder, yet it uses a filter bank, because usually digital vocoders use FFT, so they use more than 16 pins or filter bank or filters, if you like.
Right.
But there's something about the sound of the old kind of low resolution where everything is kind of mixed together and it sounds, so there's a lot of spill because you have very wide sort of frequency bands, and as they move you get a lot of the carrier sound basically into the vocoder, and that's what makes it such a 70s kind of disco-y vocoder because that's what's been used back then. With today's vocoders, you can get a lot more resolution and detail because you're working with, I don't know, 1,028 pins, higher count of pins, depends on. So it's nice. I like it. It sounds like the vocoder you would expect from something like that. Reminds me a little bit of the Korg.
The Micro Korg.
The one with the Micro Korg. So it's a bit of a modern take on that. But I haven't played with a synth, but it sounds like it has some really good sounds and nice and kind of chunky.
Yeah, well, I can verify that the synth is actually really good. I reviewed it, and it's works on. It's only got a single oscillator, but each oscillator there are a number of models for each one, and it works on the kind of, you have 3 or 4 parameters per oscillator that you, depending on what model you're doing, and you can modulate those. It's actually pretty cool. It's a nice sounding little synth,
like the Minilog XD's digital oscillator.
Kind of, yeah, that kind of concept. Again, moving towards the whole notion of this sort of DSP running on hardware again, which is kind of seems to be the theme of today's show. I know, Charles, I know you've got some Arturia stuff. Have you tried the Microfreak?
I haven't. I've only seen your review of it.
Okay.
And Lupop did a review of it too. Now, I may be professing some ignorance here, but as I understand it, isn't this vocoder upgrade via a firmware update? So you can also do it on the black one?
That's right.
So black or white, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, all they've done is they've just released a white one with the firmware pre-installed that comes with a little gooseneck mic. But you could just as easily, I think Lupop, yeah, you're right, Lupop has a video where he just plugs like an iPhone headset and speakers into it, and headphones, and with a talk mic on the earbuds, and that works fine.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, it does sound pretty exciting. I've said this probably 500 times on this show. I don't need any more keyboards, but that actually has been tempting me because it's small. I've got a little bit of room over there. I'm sure that I can just sort of squeeze something in, but a keyboard at all. So I don't know how it feels. It does sound great. I like everything they make. I like their software and hardware.
They seem to be on fire at the moment. They're really
they're
releasing a bunch of stuff. They have done, and then they've got this, and there may be some other things on the way that we don't know about. But it seems like they've been quite productive during this lockdown time, which is, I guess it's all good news for all of us lot. Gives us something to do, right?
And similar to you, I'd like to know where that house is, because
look great
to buy that house.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's for sale. It's impossible to know. Right. Okay.
There's a price for everything.
There is a price for everything. It just depends whether you can afford that price. So yeah, that was the new Microfreak, and then we've got this other thing, which is the right. I'm gonna have to try and what video was this? That was I can switch that one off. So video 2, video 3. I think it might be this one. Let's see. Yes. Sugi, this is a Windows plugin, and it's called DSP Motion. God, it's loud. Excuse me, that's very loud. And it basically, you've got a drawing area that allows you to move stuff around, sound effects and musical effects, and kind of create this sort of motion, which is ideal for. That's why I was hoping to have Tori on, because it's ideal for picture, and you can use a pencil, or you can use your finger or a mouse. Export the audio file. You can also send it into Unity, which is the game engine. It's like $49. It's dirt cheap, really, for this kind of thing. But it really reminds me. Oh yeah, lots of stereo panning. Let's listen to a few more of those. I like that. Let me see if I switch. It reminds me a little bit of Metasynth, which was, again, this piece of software from probably 25, 30 years ago, which had this motion concept and was very much favoured by sound designers. And it's a sort of interesting idea, I guess. I don't know. Yoad, did you ever get into Metasynth and that whole kind of notion of it? Because the problem back then was Mice or Mices or Mouse, the mouse wasn't very responsive, so you couldn't get that real flow. You know, it was a bit laggy. So this might actually be a bit more responsive.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's very tempting. Unfortunately, it only runs on PC, but hopefully they will remedy that and make it available on other platforms. But it looks great, and I wonder what happens when you run like synth noises through it and stuff like that, something tonal. What effect does it have on pitch and stuff, and how can you use it running vocal samples through it and things like that. It looks like a really fun thing to play with. Also, I'm wondering, and I probably know the answer to that, but when you draw on the screen, it will not, like when in Cubase or in Logic or in Pro Tools, if you do anything with a cursor, like adding MIDI in step time or moving MIDI events or things like that, it will move the video as well. So it will kind of scrub the video too. So something like that, which you'll be able to do sort of in conjunction with what's happening on the screen.
I see.
Would be really cool. So as you move, but that will have to be connected to the XY matrix of the plugin. Will have to be connected to the main DAW cursor, which is quite impossible. So maybe there's a way of doing it with MIDI timecode or something like that, or using machine control to spit out the sort of the cursor information and link it to the cursor in that way, and that will make it really nice, because then you can just scrub and look at what's happening on screen and draw accordingly. So something like that would be really nice.
That's an interesting idea.
But this in itself. So I presume that if you use it as a standalone, because obviously you can't control a plugin from within a session cannot control the cursor or the main time of the main clock of the session. So it will have to be a standalone via IAC or something like that, spitting out MIDI clock or MIDI machine control. And that way you'll be able to do that. Maybe it's something that we're planning, but if not, then that would be a good idea for them.
That's an interesting idea. I'm just looking at this. You've got variations, so you can create random ranges, which is very much the whole kind of Unity sort of way. Quite often you'll take sort of footsteps and you randomize the length, the pitch, the timing of them. And so you can work it almost like mod tracking effectively. So, and it creates these little C++ scripts for God, that's really intense.
Nice.
I've always been fascinated by the whole Unity game engine kind of creating for that, but I've never spoken to anybody who's got deep into it. It's an interesting world, but you have you? Oh wow, okay. Mm-hmm. Is it like kind of music production, but with extra dimensions? I suppose it would be in many ways.
Yeah, I've done a bit of music for it, but mostly done Foley work for in Unity on a couple of different games, and so I thought, well, I'll just to get a little bit of edge up on my competition, I'll actually learn how to program in Unity as well, which was maybe one of the worst periods of my life.
Is it tough?
It was just such a, I mean, I'm going through it a little bit with video right now, but it was just like such a different world, a different way of thinking. But the net result was quite good. And for someone like myself, I really, for example, you were talking about footsteps, and you can have variations on. I was very particular about, say, footstep sounds. Like you have stock footstep sounds that come in the program, but I would go and design my own that would be based on certain types of textures. And I had a whole room that I made as a Foley room.
Wow.
And
You got it bad.
and it was just it was a rabbit hole that I went down. And now if this were available on Mac and I was still programming something, then I can imagine it would be another 6 months of my life that would just be gone. And I would think afterwards I'd go, okay, well, that was worth it. But during the time I'd be like, oh, what the hell am I doing with my life?
That's really interesting, because I'd imagine the thing is if you're using like randomization to kind of create non-repetitive things, that's actually it takes much more time, because you tweak it, you listen to a bunch, you go, am I noticing the repetition? Tweak it again, am I noticing the repetition? It's a very different kind of analytical process than kind of, does that feel good? Is it sound good? How does it make me feel? Which is with audio. I mean, one thing I will say, if you're good at editing audio, like kind of getting to the point, taking the dialogue and just kind of going, right, tightening it up, getting rid of this, then if you take that approach with video and then sort the pictures out afterwards, you can't go wrong with that, I find, because then you create the story and then you figure out how to cover up all the terrible edits you had to make that work. That would be a tip I would offer you if you haven't already figured it out.
Something I learned pretty early on, though, with regards to computers, is about random. There's no satisfying version of random. There's no real random, and there's no satisfying version of it. Apple, that famous incident of where they do the random selection of tunes on iTunes on the shuffle, and sometimes 3 or 4 songs in a row would play from the same band, and people would say, but that's not random, and Apple would say, well, actually, yeah, it actually is. It's just we have to introduce now another layer that says random, but don't pick the same artist. So random but with conditions, and I find that that's true even for just general audio stuff. Anything that supposedly is a random noise generator, there are things of it that just don't quite feel right. Things that add, like, say, noise to, like, certain plugins that have like noise generators in them to.
Well, we have spoken about this before, isn't it? I mean, the human ear is so finely tuned to repetitive patterns. I mean, it's just built into our kind of DNA.
We're built to recognize patterns.
We're built to recognize patterns. So I mean,
that's part of our hardwiring.
Yeah, exactly. And we've spoken about this, I think, I spoke to you, Johan, about the nature of randomization and, kind of the lack of perfection, trying to take digitally created synthesis techniques and then turn them into something that sounds less perfect, because we find it just quite unpleasant when something is so pitch perfect. And sometimes there are some DCOs that don't have enough variation, and there's something about them. It's like that kind of, it's almost like the auto-tune razor effect, where a note is held for a long time and it's like, that doesn't sound right. I don't like the sound of that.
It's the audio version of the Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, I guess so.
If anybody knows what that is, I don't know.
I
how
don't,
common that is.
But
Uncanny Valley is sorry, I was going to say that's just it's a diagram of which the more human-like something becomes, like, you have like a teddy bear up to an android, and say the closer it gets to being like a human, the more, or perfect version of a human, the more creeped out we are by it. And that's the same thing is true for notes and things like that. It gets to a point where it's just so good that it really creeps us out. So the Uncanny Valley is like where we're okay with it, but then suddenly we're totally creeped out by it. And
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I wrote a paper on it.
Okay. Well, I look forward to, I have to say, I haven't been posting links. I mean, because what I'm having to do is switch with the mouse on my PC, which means I've got a mouse next to a mouse, which makes the running of the program not my usual kind of left brain business where I can just use my muscle memory. This is all, so I do apologize.
It's imperfect.
It's imperfect, but it's also it's tough. It's not working in the way I would like. In fact, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to run the ending of the show, because I don't know how I do that, because it usually runs from a trigger and I don't know how to do it. But hey, what the hell? So but I was just going to say, if we come back to this, it's if I come back here, I think it's That massive variance. So you could, in the UK, you can buy it for 30 quid, 36 euros and 49. It's 3264 bit, and it looks like it's Windows only, DSP
PC
motion,
only.
PC only. What is it? Is it actually? Is it a plugin or is it a standalone thing? That's not clear. I think it might be maybe it's just standalone then. I think that possibly it is. That's interesting. Okay, well, that probably answers one of the questions that you maybe had, Johan, about it controlling the DAW, which means no, it won't. Or the video. That's probably not going to work.
It actually it is more likely to control the DAW as a standalone software if it can transmit MIDI machine control or MIDI timecode according to the movement on the screen. But yeah, that's interesting.
And with a scrub thing, yeah. I don't know if there are any more topics that I want to get into because, frankly, this is really stressful. I'm just about holding it together. And after this, I've got to go drive for 4 hours to take my daughter to visit a friend, and then come back and fix my computer. So I think I might actually, unless there's anything that you really, really want to do. I mean, we were going to talk about the Future Sound pinboard, but I just feel like I might want to quit while I'm ahead this time, and apologise to our live viewers and the viewers. It's not quite the usual Sonic Talk because of the technical issues that we've discussed, but I do appreciate you sticking by us, and we have got quite a large number of live viewers, which is lovely to see you all. Thank you for joining us. Let me see, analytics. We're doing almost 500. Well, it's just a shame you tuned in for my technical ineptitude this time, which I suppose regular viewers will probably say, it's all right, Nick, we're used to it. This is such a common happening. But usually the underlying technology works. It's usually operator error, I would like to say. So maybe I'll just kind of think about wrapping things up now. I know it's been a little bit.
It's an extra square on the Sonic Talk bingo, right?
Yeah,
there was that Sonic Talk bingo.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's an
the
extra-
Windows 10 update broke the machine. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, that's not a bad idea actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what are you up to, Charles? I mean, we'll say goodbyes. Have you got anything to plug? Anything that's going on chickyandcoco.com?
Well, we got the Live at Chicky and Coco, which is coming pretty soon, coming in a month. Already got everything I need. Well, actually, I'm going to buy a couple more cameras. But aside from that, I've got just about everything I need, which will be a live event, which you and I have been talking about. And I'm very excited about that. That's what I'm mostly focused on right now, is that. The first act is going to be a Vaporwave act. So it should be interesting. And then got a couple of other electronic acts that I can't really talk about yet that are going to be coming in. And
Nice.
But you will know about it before I tell.
Exciting times. Yeah, you're in that place. Planning an event and the technical aspects of an event is pretty much 100% CPU from what I remember last time we were doing it. So I can imagine where you are with that. But
it's fun.
Lovely to have you, Chicky. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Glad to be on.
And also Mr. Johan Nevo with his fancy new wide-angle camera there. Thank you for joining us also. It's been an absolute pleasure. I get the feeling you're going to be going down this route too. You're going to be getting the Blackmagic switcher and fancy angles just because you're the kind of guy I know that finds that sort of thing intriguing. Making the system
I try
work.
to stay away from the video camera kind of world, but there's no escape. You have to get into it, and so I have. So like I told you in the beginning, I'm running out of excuses why not to make videos. So if anyone can think of more excuses, I'll be
Send them in,
happy
please.
to
Yes.
know.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay, well, I guess it just remains to wrap up. I want to say thank you very much to our friends over at Isotope. Let me see. I can probably get round to. Yes, I'm gonna run the competition details again. I want to say thank you very much, everybody. Isotope for helping make this happen, and BT as well. We're going to get him back on the show again soon, I hope. We're looking for, if you want to win a copy of Stutter Edit 2 from Isotope and BT, we're looking for Cut and Chop. as one hashtag, which is one word, cut and the word and chop, and the hashtag stutter edit 2, the number 2, to @SonicState and @Isotope Inc. And if you enter, we will hopefully have a show next week where we can read out the winner. But I want to say thank you very much to everybody. I don't think I can quite manage the four shot. I could try. What happens there? Oh yeah, look, it sort of works, except there's just there we go. I'm going for it. What the hell? So if I can now, I might actually be able to run the show. So here we go. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Sonic Talk episode 632. Technical shambles, but we managed to power through. See you all later, guys. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye bye now.